work that you've done. I just want to get some clarification. In your priority investment area criteria, you define pre-existing centers as centers that were designated by the state plan. Both Morris River and Galloway Township have centers designations that were granted in 2001. No sooner did the ink dry on those centers designations than the state plan was revised to require plan endorsement. And both municipalities had some grace period in there, but were ultimately forced to go into a process that's lengthy and, as you called it, a cruel hoax. So I'm hopeful that in this process, the towns that went through the proper procedure to get centers designation to identify appropriate growth areas will continue to be allowed to acknowledge the work that was done and not be forced to start over and spend additional money in order to prioritize new growth areas. I think that is in your intent. I hope that is carried through the end of this process.
Thank you. We can talk offline about this.
Yes.
John Cummins. I'm here from Atlantic Highlands, noticing that the development areas include Newark and Elizabeth and places like that. I'm really concerned that this is going to be funded, and who's going to fund it? You know, and why are we going to fund it? The thing is that people living in places like Atlantic Highlands or Pine Barrel might want to put a driveway in or fix their roof instead of paying for development somewhere else. Shouldn't they be free to do that?
Yeah.
Is if HUD gets involved in any way, they have some very tight strings. Basically, you're giving up sovereignty. Let's not use any HUD money for this. I didn't see HUD exempted from this. In fact, I remember seeing HUD and Rutgers mentioned. And you know, you go right in here and HUD lays out a regional governance that doesn't even involve any form of government that we have. It's a region. It's very strange. And they have the final say. George Valentin?
Yes. Hi. Thank you. I'm from Paulsboro, New Jersey. I'm a real estate developer by trade, plus an attorney, and I've worked in places like Afghanistan, Ambassador Clem on rule of law, in Baghdad province, and in Anbar, in another third world country called New Jersey. Not being nasty about it. What the state's strategic plan is, it's redevelopment, which is the Redevelopment Act. I think it's Title 42, New Jersey statutes annotated. It's the eminent domain statutes because you're taking the future interest rights of the properties. That's Title 23. I don't know where planning is in the state code, but I know under 191 NJ 344, the Supreme Court decision, the 7-0 decision that I received in front of Zally, who's from Toms River, Chief Justice Zally. Those powers not expressed or applied to the federal government are reserved for the state, unless reserved by the people of New Jersey. And the people of New Jersey reserve private property. The people of New Jersey do not accept that properties across the state are going to be blighted when they're not. I'm from, right now, my wife's at a meeting in Woodbury, New Jersey. Had to go to both of these meetings. They erroneously have titled the entire area either in rehabilitation or in redevelopment. So what does that mean? You've got Agenda 21 up here. You've got the state plan down here. The underpinnings, and I'm being specific to this, the underpinnings and the caution that we need to do here is we need to have private property owners have a council and be able to have input in every one of these decisions. Sit on its 10th floor and look around like he's my lord, my liege. We're going back to mercantilism, which is 1775. I've got these books I'd like people to read. There's, I'll give them to the governor and planning state. I handed them out on the 18th of January. And basically, I can explain to you, if you email me, I can explain to you we are going the wrong way economically. The 171 countries that won Agenda 21, and this is Agenda 21 without the name on it.
Yeah.
It's unauthorized by the people of New Jersey to their government. Governor Christie respectfully does not have the power to do this plan. Somebody, not the state attorneys, somebody needs to get together and have a private lawyer examine all of this and look for constitutionality. Because if you go into these 9 items that I've listed here and read the books, that's what I did. I got paid a lot of money over in Afghanistan, and a lot of money in Baghdad, and a lot of money up in Anbar, examining how to put the poorest country, second poorest country, and a moderately poor country back together. Now, I heard comments that we don't have prosperity in the state. I assure you, this state is filthy rich. I made in one day what somebody in Afghanistan made in a year, times 2. You want to see poverty? Every day you go to work, you've got 5, 4, and 3-year-olds begging you for money. You give them money, and they don't get fed. What happens? They follow this plan. This plan's underlying opinions. Please accept this. These plans underlying. Now, who are some of the authors in this book, or these books? Richard Pipes.
We're going to have to start.
Right. I got 5 minutes. Got 5 minutes. I'm addressing the underlying principles and characteristics and functionality of this plan. Example, there's a Harvard professor. He's come out of Washington, D.C. He's now up in, I think, Parsippany, or he's in whatever town it is, Newark. It's not Newark. It's right next to Newark or something. He understands all this. We communicate back and forth on Facebook. But if you take this plan and run our economic system down under the alleged social justice, people don't work for you. I work for my children, and I work extremely hard. I work for my wife, and I turn over my paychecks. And she spends it the correct way. This plan develops a regional government, and this regional government is unaccountable to us. We had a board of chosen freeholders at one time, with a chosen freeholder from each municipality, 24 on the big board. They changed that in 68, 69. What this plan does, this plan develops an idea where it's a board of chosen freeloaders at a regional level. They make their own plans. I have personally requested, and this is not to disparage anyone in the room, I have personally requested a letter from the South Jersey Port Corporation they have a redevelopment plan pursuant to this, for a letter of the right to travel, to use their docks. Sure, I'm wrapping it up. That letter still remains outstanding. Now, it's probably cost me $1,000 in requests. This system wipes out the free market system. That's what these things are about. Anybody wants to? Thank you.
Lillian, D-C-P-E-R-T.
Decker.
Decker.
That young man up there, I asked him before on break, is this Agenda 21 sustainability? He said, no. No? Well, this is your paperwork that they gave me tonight. And in here, you're using the same words that they use in Agenda 21 and sustainability. Blueprint for change, sustainable economic growth, regional planning. And New Jersey is supposed to be the national leader in coordinated private and public investment which supports sustainable communities. And we are to be the example for the rest of the states in the United States. So this isn't just New Jersey like you told me. This is for the whole United States. And yes, it is Agenda 21. And in Agenda 21, New Jersey has what's called sustainability, which is part of Agenda 21. And Agenda 21 comes out of the United Nations, who are socialist communists. Why?
this isn't the first state plan. This is the third. And this has been going on for 25 years. And I can tell you, plans that were out there before were completely unworkable, much more strenuous. And it really points to the inefficiency of government. The fact that things haven't been working properly. Departments at the state level in particular have not been talking to each other, have sabotaged each other at one point or another, and it's really been to the detriment of the local communities in the county. In my perspective, one of the positive things that this plan does is it addresses that and basically says, state agencies, you need to work together. You're not on your own. You don't do your own thing. You work for the state of New Jersey. You work for the people. You need to do your own thing. The other thing I like about the plan, as far as the economic development areas, and the fact that it's not targeted lot by lot by lot. Here's what you're going to do on this lot. Here's what you're going to do on that. It is general, and as far as economic development, it recognizes that different parts of New Jersey are different. Even in Ocean County, Lakewood is much different than Tuckerton, is much different than New Egypt. They rely on different industries. One of the most important developing areas now in Ocean County is the joint military base, joint base with Wire, Dix, and Lakehurst. We share that with Burlington County. It's very important, not just to us, but obviously to the national security. We have been working for a number of years with the county, Burlington County, with the towns, and with some of the state agencies at coordinating the activities around the base, making sure what happens is consistent, not in conflict with the base, and that there are opportunities for our residents to take advantage of some of the higher paying jobs that can come with working with that base. But there's other areas in the county, such as when you go down to Cumberland County, which is heavily reliant on the fishing industry and shellfish and so on, whether you're in Atlantic City, relying on tourism and the other shore towns, whether you're up in Hudson County, you have different focuses. And I believe this state plan allows the flexibility. It says it isn't one size fits all, but that different areas of the states are important for different reasons, and they should be supported in those efforts. As far as some of the concerns that have been mentioned here today, we've had conversations in Ocean County. Obviously, whether it's intended, unintended consequences, there are some very serious concerns that are being expressed in this room today. It needs to make that into whatever final draft or final plan, that there are people that are sounding alarm bells or warning bells that I think it's a much more innocent process, but if we are stumbling into something that we don't anticipate, that needs to be looked at and that needs to be addressed in the plan. Thank you. Thank you.
First, with all due respect, I would like to know, as much as I would like to be specific, how, with any degree of intelligence or common sense, could you make that statement when we have not had access to this information prior to this meeting? How did somebody in your organization or your organization like to get on Fox News, because that would be the only outlet that would let us know that what's going on? I cannot ask specifically other than who wrote this up? Who was in the panel that wrote this sham of a trolling instrument up? I would like to know. I'm serious, but please tell me, can I have a list of people that contributed to this horrendous?
Where did it originate?
We want to know. That's a specific question.
Within the Department of State, if you can, please give us your comments on the plan.
I'm asking you a question specifically related. I want to know who developed this plan. I want names, and I want to know what they did. I, sir, have worked in the private sector and in the public sector. I know, from having worked in the public sector, these people have had a few too many doses of self-importance and don't realize that it is the private sector that keeps this country going. We don't want to use this rhetoric and this BS and, come on, let's get past this. Look at 5 minutes. Come on. This is serious. This is a horrendous, serious change to America as we have known it for many, many years. And we deserve an explanation. That's my specific question. I want to know who did this. I want to know why we're paying these people to do this. If they did go to the private sector, let me assure you they could not make it more than a week. These people, the less of them, the better. and I do not have my answer. I do want a specific list of who planned this and why.
I'd be happy to provide that.
I really do want that, and I want to know how I'm going to get it so that I can disseminate it through as many municipalities that I know.
Through the email, we'd be happy.
And it's horrendous that you came here tonight and said, oh, now you have a chance to listen. Why don't we have this information ahead of time? Why? Why is it kept quiet from the public? I want to know that.
What happened to engineering?
What happened there? Because Fox
I've
didn't
had
pick
it
it up
for 6
yet.
weeks. It's been on the website, it's been published in the newspaper.
On the website, sir.
We can't get into it. I appreciate it, but we can't get into, this is really the period of your comments.
I'm asking you and I made my comments.
Okay, thank you very much. Frank? Shenza? Thank you, Frank.
I don't know all about the technical things that go on tonight, but this plan is going through development, and I read it in Edward Contrast. 300,000 acres of additional development on this area. Now, this plan is going to have growth areas in the New Jersey Heights and our Heights. Two major sources of drinking water in the state, out against that plan too. And I also read that if a township wanted to have a 3 acres program for a farm or an area, this plan would not allow that to happen because there's a designated local area. We live in the most crowded, densely populated state and polluted state in the country. Everywhere I go, and you must go there too, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. There's wall-to-wall sprawl. I live in Lacey Township. They wiped out all the farms. All the woods are gone. There's nothing left but traffic, businesses that are eking out a living because one needs cutting the throat of the other. We had a Walmart open up, which wiped out all the small stores. We had a Home Depot, which isn't really doing that well, and they wiped out all the hardware stores in town. They're gone.
That's called progress.
Well, it's progress, but it's just, I'm just saying that when you drive a Lacey Township, all you see is stores. And all these businesses have one thing in common. They want to take money out of your pocket and put it in theirs. And there's only so many pockets big enough to accommodate that. In case you haven't been reading the papers, the middle class is shrinking. Susie Orman says the middle class is gone. And that anybody making $80,000 a year, now getting a job at 35, 40, that's it, baby, because there's 15 people looking for your job. You don't like it? Get the hell out of here. That's the end of the middle class. So how many things are they going to be able to buy with all this business sport going on? All I know is when I drive by a farm, my blood pressure drops. It's pleasant. There's no argument, there's no tea party, there's no this. It's just pleasant to look at. It's something that we're losing in the state big time.
So buy the land,
So buy a farm.
and then you can look at it every day.
Please. I'm going to go out and buy it.
I just want to ask everybody, as tempting as it is to be yelling out, getting into it back and forth, it's very difficult when you listen to these tapes back. We really want to get individual comments, and it's more productive for us if it's clear and on the tape, and we can get the comment uninterrupted. So please refrain from yelling out.
All right, Tim Dillingham. All right. There you go.
Thanks, Dan. So my name is Tim Dillingham. I'm the director of the American Littoral Society, which is a conservation organization. It works along the coast, it works along the ocean. I would say that I'm also not a great fan of where we are in this process right now, but for very different reasons than what I've heard before earlier on in the evening. So my group is 6,000 members. They all donate their hard-earned money to support the work that we do. We try to protect the beaches, we try to protect the fish, we try to protect Martin Bay, clean water, make sure everybody has access to those areas. But we're also very concerned about what happens to the land. Because we know that you have to protect the land in order to protect the water. And we all have a very deep stake in this because whether you like it or not, we live in a very small state, a very interrelated state. And we are all neighbors, we're all Jerseyans. What happens here is affected by the ships that come in the Port of Newark, by the trains that come to my neighborhood in Mercer County, that bring all the materials that folks I'm sure all have in their homes, in their cars. So we don't live independently. 8 million of us. This is a state that needs a state plan. We need to have a common vision. It ought to be brought up through a conversation, a civil conversation, not yelling at each other, one that looks at what the impacts are. I will tell you that I'm a scientist by training, that when I look at places like Barnegat Bay, what we see are the shellfish are disappearing, and with them go the jobs. There used to be 900 men that made a living, made good livings, supported families for generations on that bay. They're almost all gone now. And they're gone because we didn't take care as to how we developed the land. Land in the Pinelands, land around the parkway here. So if you want to talk economics, you have to protect the environment, protect the economics. You know, you worry about your property taxes, time and time again, you sit down with somebody who knows numbers, they'll show you how growth and development, Mr. Akers talked about, puts money on your tax bill. Concerned about your health, think about the pollution in this state. We have the unfortunate reputation and the unfortunate place of being the largest ever superfund zone. That's because we didn't take care in the future. So we need to take steps to make sure that business and the industry take care, are good stewards, take care of our communities, and by extension, take care of our kids, take care of our ability to live in these communities. I don't think this plan gets there because of the fact that it doesn't provide us with a predictable ability to look into the future, look at those generations that we're all concerned about. I've got 3 kids, one going to college, 2 in high school. Right? I brought them up in this state. My wife's family's been for generations. We don't have the ability to look forward and say, the next 2 generations of kids are going to be able to be here. You have to stop and understand how much growth is going to happen, what its effects are going to be on your neighbor, what effect it's going to have on the town, and how it do it. So the plan hasn't gotten to recognizing that interconnectedness. The approaches that need to be much more developed. There needs to be more balance into the plan, recognizing the role of environmental protection, protecting parts of the land, and protecting resources that was talked about. It's dominated by economic development right now. We will not get there only paying attention to one side of the coin. And I said, yeah, so the last point would be, I would ask that the plan specifically recognize the coast, the ocean, the shore as a region. I also think a regional idea is a good idea. The state is very diverse, but there are certain things that we like to share, like our constitution.